Your feet, yes, those crusty things at the bottom of your body, are responsible for everything you do. Every squat, every time you chase your kids, every step. Why are we destroying our feet? Morning, everyone. It's a clearly beautiful day. We're going to talk about feet, footwear. Well, a lot of people don't like talking about feet. A lot of people don't like feet, but your feet are incredibly important. Like I said, they are the foundation of everything we do. They are what grounds us to the floor, and that is what allows us to deliver energy and power up the chain through our legs, through our core, all the way on up. So, what are we doing that's ruining our feet? Well, from the time we're young, most of us stick our feet in shoes. So, shoes, most of them are too rigid. They should be nice and flexible. You should be able to, actually, this is a good test. Go home, take your shoes, try to twist them. So hold the sole, try to twist the sole kind of like a corkscrew. If you can do that, you have a good flexible shoe that will allow your foot to move naturally the way it should. If you go to twist it and it is rigid, it is fighting your body's natural mechanics. And that, over time, over years, will produce a foot that does not move the way it's supposed to. Now, one of the other things is we strive for comfort. The ground's not soft unless you're on grass. So our feet are naturally designed to have an arch in them. That arch and the toes, which splay as we touch the ground, allow us to cushion naturally for our body. With the comfort shoes that we wear, the nice soft squishy soles, they are doing the work for us. They make our feet lazy. And so what happens is the feet will naturally lose that arch. You may have heard of flat feet before. You may have heard of pronation if you're in the healthcare field, hyperpronation. So essentially, instead of having an arch, your foot's just flat. Well, what that does, I'm actually going to stop my walk for a second. When that arch no longer exists and it flattens, it rolls your ankle in. When your ankle rolls in, your knee rolls in. When your knee rolls in, typically your hip will compensate out. And you've got this whole host of problems that travel up the chain. So I see this in the clinic all the time, so much so that we actually have a foot scanner. That foot scanner will show us how much your foot has collapsed, and then whether you need orthotics or some sort of support for the arch. So why are we talking about this? A lot of times people come in for low back pain, hip pain, things like that, and we try fixing the root cause of what we think it is. Sometimes it's weak hip flexors. Sometimes it's, tight lower cross, which we've talked about before. Sometimes it's none of those things. And then we're scratching our head going, well, what else could it be? Well, you're on your feet all the time. You're in these clunky boots, or you're in rigid shoes because they provide a thick sole, which cushions you. And now we need to scan your feet and look oh, look at that. Your feet have no support naturally because we stick them in shoes. Then you go walk barefoot and your back hurts all the time. So the feet are so crucial for every movement we do, especially if we're chasing around little ones and we're getting on the floor and playing with them. We need to have good foot mobility. So here's something you can do at home, quick and easy, doesn't take much. If you have foot pain or plantar fasciitis, this is especially important. Before you get up in the morning, before you step on the ground, make your feet active, rub the sole of your foot for about 30 seconds each side. That's just going to activate some of those intrinsic muscles. Then, when you put your feet on the ground, I want you to try to stretch your toes out. Your toes should naturally not just sit like this. They should be able to spread apart. If you can't do that, you got some work to do. And so that's a quick and easy task for you. If you want to make it even more challenging, it's called you can basically do toe grabs or the towel exercise. I don't know the actual name for it. Take a hand towel, put it on the ground flat, take your toes, spread them, grip that towel with your toes, pick it up, let it go. That's going to retrain those intrinsic muscles of the foot to start working the way that they're supposed to again. Now, as far as footwear recommendations, we already talked about the twistability of the sole. Two other things that you're going to want to look for. You're going to want to look for is a wide toe box. So where your toes sit should not be narrow. And Nike is infamous for having narrow toe boxes. So you're gonna want something, yes, they do look a little goofier. They don't look as stylish, but your feet are gonna thank you, I promise you. The other thing is, besides a wide toe box, you're gonna want what's called a zero drop. So what that means is the shoe, if you look at it from the side, is completely flat. And the reason we want that too is because, again, we don't need a heel. Women are notorious for their heels, but even dress shoes usually have a heel. Boots have a heel. And that heel, over time, if you wear them consistently, changes the foot dynamic. You're putting way more pressure on the front of the foot than the back of the foot. And then on top of that, you're shortening your calf muscle. That's why women who are notorious for wearing heels always have essentially low back pain whenever they're barefoot. It's because that whole back chain, the posterior chain, is tight because you're shortening it the whole time. Now, in clinic, I never tell ladies they have to take off their heels because I understand. You look good in them. I'm not going to tell you to take them off, especially if it's work related, makes you feel good, whatever it is. Guys, our problem is usually boots. Boots are the big one that I see. But you need to stretch. So those are just some quick and easy. As far as a training recommendation, I do have a pair of shoes I will highly recommend. Been trying them for the last 2 months. I don't know how to say it. Otishi. You may have seen them. They've been really popular on social media with all their ads, but they are very soft, flexible. They almost feel like you're working out in socks, which is nice. But I love wearing those because it is flexible. It allows my foot to naturally spread and do what it needs to do throughout its natural movement. So I can drop the link to them too, but they're a pretty dope shoe. I've been wearing them for, like I said, about 2 months now. So what you're gonna do today, before you wake up or before you get out of bed, you're going to rub the sole of your foot for about 30 seconds, wake those feet up. Then you are going to take a towel, put it on the ground, spread your toes, grip the towel, pick it up, put it back down. Rinse and repeat. We're gonna do that maybe 10 times per side, then start your day. See if your feet feel better. Try to get yourself some better shoes, some that have the wider toe box, more flexible design to them. And you'd be amazed at how often some of that back pain, hip pain actually goes away with it. So, as always, all this stuff, we go into more detail. I've got a whole plantar fasciitis mobility protocol in Dad Strong, in the link, in the bio. So click that if you're interested. But as always, get strong, show up, and be the superhero your kids already know you are. Love you.